Please help us honor Fran and Al Sachs as the 2012 recipients of the Irv Shuman Award for Philanthropy. Fran and Al, please join us up here.
Well, tell me, who would have believed that Fran and Al Sachs would be standing up here tonight to accept the prestigious Irv Shuman Award? Certainly not the two of us. And if the truth be known, Fran and I were absolutely shocked when Elisa told us we were getting the award. And for the first time since I learned to talk, I was speechless. And although we were very flattered to have been chosen for the award, the first thing we wanted to do was to tell the JCC we couldn't accept it. We felt that we shouldn't accept it because Irv Shuman Olive Shalom set the bar so high with his many, many years of service, both locally, nationally, and internationally. Fran and I knew there was no way that we could ever equal his many accomplishments. And for that reason alone, we felt undeserving. And when we expressed our concern about not wanting to accept the award for that reason, Elisa was the first one to listen to our words and come to our aid. She convinced us that we had no right to second guess or question the brilliant decisions made by the board of directors of the JCC. So therefore, that's not my words, folks, that's her words. Therefore, it is with much gratitude, humility, and pride that Fran and I do accept this award, and we thank the JCC board of directors for giving us this honor, and we want to congratulate them on their using such good judgment. When Fran and I decided to relocate from Indiana to someplace warm, we picked Phoenix, and it's been a wonderful move for our family. We feel so fortunate to be living here among such caring, Hamish, and wonderfully warm people like you all. And as newcomers, we weren't as involved as we could have been, but still, in spite of that, you wonderful people graciously and quickly welcomed us and made us feel part of this wonderful, warm community. And because of your warm welcome, Fran and I began to volunteer for several different agencies each year, as well as giving larger and more sums of tzedakah to all the local Jewish organizations. You know, my son Nate, he's sort of from, and he said, you know, Dad, I keep saying to him, why am I giving all this money? And he says, you know, Dad, for every $1 of tzedakah you give, God returns $10. Now, I'm not exactly keeping track of how much money God owes me. But I will tell you this, in all sincerity, and I'm very serious, I have received back, our Fran and I have received back in Nachas many, many more times than 10 times from giving our charity to this organization, to the organizations in our city. The heck with the money, it's the Nachas that really counts. And the more involved we became, the more we felt that we were really part of something wonderful and something meaningful, and that we were part of a community family, a large community family, that made us feel loved, respected, appreciated, and needed. And for that, Fran and I have been eternally grateful. Winston Churchill once said, you make your living by what you get, but you make your life by what you give. And Fran and I have always tried to live by that standard, and in doing so, we have learned exactly what it means to be part of a Jewish community and what one's financial responsibility is to that community. We learned, for example, that to whom much has been given, much is required, that it's more of a blessing to give than it is to receive, and that it's a mitzvah to share one's good fortune with those less fortunate. And a mitzvah is a commandment, and a commandment can't be broken. And that's why we who do share, thank you, that's why we who do take care of the community each year do so without any question about worrying about the economy. We also learned that sharing is not just an obligation, it's a privilege. You know, it's been said that if a Jew is fortunate enough to have a loaf of bread and he learns that his hungry neighbor has none, the Jewish way is to cut his in half and give half to his neighbor. My friends, I think that's what we Jews have been taught to do for over 3,000 years, to always stand ready to give and to share with our needy brothers and sisters, even if we're never asked to do so. And lastly, Fran and I learned that by our living by the standard of you make your living by what you get, but you make your life by what you give, our children have learned to follow in our footsteps. Fran and I know that when we are no longer here, that our 4 kids will be leaving a legacy named Nate, Gary, Stacy, and Lisa, whom we know will always continue the Sachs family commitment of philanthropy, and especially to take care of all the causes in this community. In closing, I'd like to again thank the JCC Board of Directors for giving us this honor. Tonight will be a memory that we will cherish forever. And I want to reassure the board that getting this award is not the culmination of our support, but rather it's a continuation and a validation of our commitment and love for this community. Thank you all so much for being here tonight and for helping our family celebrate this simcha and this momentous occasion. We are truly, truly honored by all of your presence. And now the woman who has owned my heart for 66 years would like to share with you some of her thoughts about tonight. But first I have to give her a handkerchief because I know it's coming. How do you work the microphone? She doesn't want to hold it. Which one, honey?
Either one. Let's just put that right there for you. They made some changes tonight.
It's fine. Can you hear me? No. Can you hear me now? That's where did he go? Al?
What, honey?
Honey, you're a hard act to follow.
I know.
He is a very hard act to follow. And now that you have heard the shyer one in the couple, I have a few words I want to say. First of all, I just have to give a shout out to my oldest and firstborn grandson, Jonathan, who came in. He lives in New York, and he surprised me and is here tonight. Really special. I had no idea he was going to be here. When we first moved here, it was very hard for me to get into organizational work. I had been working with my husband in our business for many years and hadn't been able to participate in organizations. I paid my dues every year, and that was about it. And then we moved here, and of course the picture changed. The community needed us, and we sure did need the community. One of the early events, when we started going to the events, we met this wonderful, kind man. Such a nice smile, and it meant so much to me because when I go into large groups of people where I don't know them very well, all my insecurities come to the surface, unlike my partner. I met Irv Shuman, may he rest in peace, and he smiled, said he was glad to meet me, and every time I ever saw him after that, I always got that big smile and the hello that meant so much, and it means so much to us tonight to have Amy and Rick here. You honor us by being here. I share this award with every single person in this room who gives $18 or $18,000. It isn't the amount that you give, it's your wanting to give it and the fact that you do give it. I said in the video that Al and I give what we do not because we can, because we should. I think one of the saddest two words people can say are should have. We've always at least tried to do things when we've had big decisions and little decisions and choices to make. I've always wanted Al to be able to say, I tried, rather than I should have. The community has given us much more than we have given into the community, as Al said. It has given us what you cannot buy with money, a sense of belonging, and I thank you for that. Our life has been like one great big, I'm comparing it to a picture puzzle with lots and lots of pieces, good days and bad days, laughter and tears, many, many health crises that, thank God, many, many recoveries have followed, hills and valleys and so on. And tonight you have placed this great big shining piece into our puzzle, the Irv Shuman Award. And it shines, it touches our hearts. We will treasure it always. You hear it now a lot, and I always smile when I look up and they do it on a commercial on TV about aha moments. You have given us tonight an aha happening. It's something that we will never, ever forget. It goes into our hearts. And in that big puzzle, it's going in with our 4 grandchildren, our 13 grandchildren, our 4 children, their wonderful spouses. How much more could we possibly ask for? I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you've done for us, not what we've done for you. Thank you.
Please help me honor Fran and Al as we give them the 2012 Irv Shuman Philanthropy Award.
It has her name on it first.